Leading constitutional scholar Noah Feldman is with us. He is a professor at Harvard Law School who testified in favor of the first impeachment of Donald Trump. Professor Feldman has written a compelling book entitled The Broken Constitution, in which he argues that the Constitution of 1789 was a compromise constitution, which Abraham Lincoln shredded in order to create the moral constitution we have today. Historian Jon Meacham called the book an insightful and talented exploration of our greatest president's complicated relationship with a document he revered and changed forever. We're very much honored to have Professor Noah Feldman on the program. Well, thanks so much for doing this, and congratulations on your book, which for me as a lawyer was just fascinating, and also as someone who has a passing knowledge of the Civil War era. But what I wanted to ask you is the broken Constitution. You weren't writing about overruling Roe v. Wade or gun rights. You were writing about something else. So why don't you tell us where you got your title and why you think the Constitution was broken?
Thank you, Jim, and thank you very much for having me. The Constitution that I'm describing as having been broken was the original Constitution, the one drafted in 1787 and ratified a couple of years after that, that persisted up until the run-up to the Civil War. And the first sign that that Constitution was broken was, of course, that 7 states, and eventually more, seceded from the Union, or claimed to be able to secede from the Union. And they were literally saying that they could break the promises that those states had made when they entered into the Constitution. They believed that that was their right under the Constitution. They said, we ratified it, so we can unratify it. And of course, Lincoln, acting on behalf of the Union, took the opposite view and rejected that as an invalid attempt to secede from the Union. And so in that sense, the Constitution was already broken, but it didn't stop there. Lincoln himself had to make 3 really fundamental major decisions in his presidency to try to preserve and recreate the Union. And I suggest in the book that each of those involved breaking the Constitution as he and others at the time understood it. And the first of those was to go to war to force the Southern states back into the Union, which we now think of as so obvious as part of the Constitution that we don't even notice it, but actually it doesn't say anywhere in the Constitution you can do that, and contemporaries didn't think you should be able to do that. He then suspended habeas corpus, which is, as you know, is the right to have a court review every act in which the government grabs you up and detains you. And the Constitution says that Congress can do that under times of emergency, but Lincoln did it on his own without Congress, and he continued to do it for several years. And last but not least, Lincoln issued eventually, it took a while, the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed enslaved people in the Confederacy, even though he himself, in his years running up to the presidency, and even for the first year of his presidency, believed that that was beyond his constitutional powers. So my suggestion is that Lincoln himself took the already broken Constitution and broke it even further in the hopes of recreating it into something new.